Yes, but in the face of absolute peril, we're all powerless. And besides, any degree of power can corrupt. This is why equality is necessary, you know? I don't know why I'm trying to have a conversation with you. You're a fucking idiot. Hold on. Before I talk about the finale, there's a handful of miscellaneous things I couldn't fold into the character section of this review. Separate from the Magog and the mostly evil Nietzscheans, they set up another race of mostly evil murderers called Culterians. They never give up on a bounty. So the crew find themselves in a bar and have set up defences leading to this big blowout fight scene. I've seen less camping in a game of Call of Duty. Like, what the hell, are these guys zombies? Use a back door for fuck's sake. This goes on for 3 full minutes. It's not good, it's just boring.
Pack hunters.
I don't remember calling the cavalry.
Forget the cavalry. Someone needs to call the cleaning service.
Take a look at these Metroid guys. Individual episodes have a lot more character and purpose this time around, which you probably noticed from the level of detail I went into with some of them. There's an episode that is as stupid as a regular episode of Andromeda, but it feels like it swallowed an episode of Game of Thrones. While this helped with some of the so bad it's good factor, overall it didn't help it come together as a season, and I suspect this is why the characters remain so inconsistent. We meet a veteran this season. They're blue and have 4 legs, and people treat them like angels, which makes me wonder again why all of the Commonwealth ship's avatars are human. Veterans can also isolate an entire solar system from the rest of the universe. They were also aware of what Hunt is doing and wish him to continue, but won't help because they're assholes. If I've not been explicit about my views on the acting yet, I'd like to say that the core cast are all trying really hard with the material, occasionally allowing me to forget that I'm wasting my time. The natural exception to this is of course Kevin Sorbo, lead actor. He's kind of flat a lot of the time. It's functional, but it's not leading material. It's certainly not Bryan Cranston. Hell, it's not even Kiefer Sutherland. Guy from Lost. That's what we're looking at here. The supporting actors are very hit and miss, but they never last more than an episode at a time anyway, so it hardly matters. James Marsters, what are you doing here?
The usual. Hundreds of grandchildren, utter domination of known space, and the pleasure of hearing that all my enemies have died in terrible, highly improbable accidents that cannot be connected to me.
You should have just left me to die.
Kill me. I'm doomed. You should have just let me die.
Listen to yourself!
Child, if I can teach you one thing...
If you're gonna give me any more of that where there's life, there's hope crap. Thanks.
Harper glanced around, racking his brain, and, being Harper, did what he always did best, put his foot in his mouth. Well, you could honour the age-old tradition of the mistletoe and kiss me, you fool. For one of the few times in his life, Tyr was left speechless. Had the scrawny human really just suggested? Yes, he had, and even more surprising, Tyr found himself intrigued by the idea. Before Harper had time to more than start to register the nervousness at Tyr's reaction, the Nietzschean stepped forward, closed his hands around Harper's upper arms, and lowered his head and kissed him. His lips brushed lightly over the slightly parted, paler ones of the engineer, teasing him with a barely there touch. He moved closer, letting Harper feel the heat of his body, but their only points of contact were their mouths and Tyr's hands on Harper's arms. Harper's eyes widened in disbelief, and then sank shut to enjoy the kiss as long as he could before Tyr's instincts kicked in and made him realise that this had nothing to do with procreation, and was therefore bad. But damn, that Nietzschean could kiss. was the engineer's last thought before his brain short-circuited as if jacked into a live wire and melted into a puddle of lust-filled goo.
Captain Hunt, the sensor drones are fully deployed and the missile launch has just been completed. For 5x5...
What now? Is 5x5 real military slang? Is that what the hell Faith was talking about? Oh, okay, well, maybe I'm making too many references to Buffy now. Time and space are very loose concepts within this show. Sometimes they can flit around the solar system in a couple of minutes. Earth to Saturn in 6 seconds. Actually, is that Saturn? It looks like someone put rings around Jupiter. God fucking... Jesus fuck... People are useless. Sure, I got some basic shit wrong last season, but multiple people got this wrong. And in one episode it takes upwards of an hour, even putting a delay in the communications. That was kind of interesting. Although in that same episode the Andromeda is swallowed by a giant space butt plug and is being digested.
Digestive fluids.
Oh, you always said I had thick skin.
Yeah, well, it's only a matter of time before it cracks your crunchy shell and works its way into the center of your chewy goodness.
How much time, Harper?
My guess? About an hour.
This one episode attempts more realistic speeds of communication and travel, and yet doesn't understand the relationship between inside and outside. That's really special, that is. I can't deal with this. On to the finale. Yes, welcome, Oblivion. Please, stay a while. Make yourself at home. So the delegates from the 50 planets are all gathered on the Andromeda to sign a big important thing, and they all start getting killed off one by one by this utterly transparent Predator ripoff. While Hunt runs around trying to kill it, Harper distracts the remaining delegates with magic tricks.
Anybody can pull a rabbit out of an empty hat, huh? But how about a rabbit's foot?
While also being racially insensitive to this three-eyed jellyfish thing.
What the hell am I supposed to do with a bunch of four-eyed freaks? Sorry, sir. Three-eyed freaks.
So it's pretty standard fare for now. Then we get to the big reveal that actually these predators are from a different universe and wish to keep the Commonwealth destroyed. For some reason. It's not much of a reveal, honestly. This, of course, is the big hoo-ha Trance came back to fix. In her timeline, everyone except for Becca and, of course, herself were killed. And this time it goes differently. Despite an overwhelming force of ships that can phase in and out of reality, they win. In part because Harper had been secretly building a giant bomb. Hunt naturally wants to take the bomb and throw it into the dimensional portal and kill all the aliens. Instead, Becca does it because that was another mistake from Trance's alternate history. Actually, if Trance switched places with her 5 years in the future self, isn't her past self now trapped in an aborted timeline? Why didn't 5 years in the future just write up a note and hand it to her? And why did she have to wait 5 years to fix this thing that happens no more than a year after that switch? They did have her save Tyr in an almost throwaway point earlier in the series.
And what precisely is this thing?
She can't tell you.
Why? Why can't I tell him?
Because if you tell him, Tyr will die.
Then, by all means, leave me in suspense.
But that doesn't factor into the finale at all. Tyr doesn't actually turn the tide of battle or do anything significant in the episode, so what was the point? They could have had her correcting minor things throughout the season that all come together to create an exciting finish. Well, they probably couldn't have, but a talented team of writers could. The episode ends with Becca and Tyr going to the dimensional hole with a bomb and saving the day. But they go missing. It's like a cliffhanger, except I don't care. I get why they didn't use the Magog planet ship so soon. I wasn't expecting them to. It established a good status quo. But they essentially just replaced it with the new aliens that come right the hell out of nowhere. There's some teamwork with the other Commonwealth members and it's all hopeful and good and stuff.
Carpet bomb space?
I like it. They can only pop up in the areas we choose. Like that old Earth game of whack-a-mole.
But they didn't have to pull this new enemy of their ass. They set up more than a few factions that don't want the Commonwealth. It's actually doing exactly what they did with Trance, reintroducing the same idea that they already had. I mean, the Magog's motivation seems to be their pink hate spectre, and we don't get any motivation from these guys, but they're both massive threats that require a united front to defeat. Given some of the technological similarities, I wouldn't be surprised if the Abyss was behind the Predators too, but as I'm getting to know this show, I wouldn't be surprised if they were never mentioned again. But then if the Abyss wants a universe without the Commonwealth, and he is behind the Predators, why doesn't he just find a universe that doesn't have a Commonwealth and live there? Gah! Fuck it, I'm done, I'm done. Early on this season I was optimistic that things were going to get better. I wanted this to be good. but every idea they have just gets mishandled and falls apart. It's exhausting to watch and honestly a shame. But I've started, so I'll finish. See you later for season 3. Have fun.
Blind and crippled. If Andromeda were my child, I'd drown it.